Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh Shabbat Shabbat Hashem Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before that taught us His truth. The Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. To the Aquath that are listening and learning, being a pillar of rest, the 144, the 1/3, and the hopeful elect. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily Update. I'm going to start. Shalom and salutations to you as well. Matthew 24:6. This isn't Tuesday, but we didn't do it last week. So we'll get a double portion. We'll get a double portion of the spirit of rumors, wars and rumors of war, right? And you shall hear of wars and rumors of war. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay, and just to get right to it, this kind of goes into like a cyber attack or flash mob type situation because this guy Alex Jones, Bill Hicks, like Bill Hicks put it, it's InfoWars, right? So you can use the internet and social media to round up a mob of people to come and get in the way of an operation if that's what you want to do, right? 49 minutes ago, this is the Duran where this guy invites this guy on, and they wax philosophical. So, morning Dagestan telegram brings angry mob to April. Now, morning Dagestan is a flash mob group that, can be rallied to interfere in whatever. What's this guy's name that pays people off, the billionaire? George Soros. If George Soros sends you some money, tells you to become a crisis actor for that day, this goes on in the Baltics. So check it out.
All right, Alexander, let's do an update on Ukraine. And how about we start things off with what happened at the airport tonight? Obviously, this was, I don't want to say obviously, in my opinion, this was a setup. And you sent me an article from the Financial Times, which admitted as much, that this was a setup by the former, he was a former Duma member, I believe, Ilya
Ponomaryov.
Ponomaryov, there you go. And now he's living in Kiev, and he organizes these types of subversions. And from what I understand, he has some sort of hand in this Telegram channel, which has 50,000 subscribers, called Morning Dagestan, and they're the ones that got this protest together. And in Dagestan, they fell for it. They fell for it without realizing that this Telegram channel is not a pro-Russian nationalist Telegram channel. It's actually owned by Ukraine. Yeah. And so when the Financial Times admits as much, okay, they got Russia on this one. This was an interesting psyop. What else? And of course, Zelensky's tweet was already prepared. He had a tweet ready and waiting, and it was sent off. So, I mean, anyway, let's start off with that one, and then we'll talk about, because that's Russia and Ukraine there. And of course, you had the Washington Post article, or was it the New York Times Washington Post article last week, which said that the CIA and the SBU are pretty much so, what are your thoughts on that?
Right. Let's start with Dagestan, because I think this is a big story. It's one that has got the Russians very, very worried and very angry. And you're absolutely correct that all the indications are that it was basically not. A major role in it was played by this particular Telegram channel, which is run from Kiev. Now, Ilya Ponomaryov set it up. He almost certainly, in my opinion, still runs it. I would say that he's told the Financial Times that he severed his connections to it a year ago. but that you have to believe him, and I'm not sure that I do, to be honest. So I mean, there we go. He is a well-known opponent of Putin, and in my opinion, I would describe him as a political hired gun. He's a hired gun for sale. The Ukrainians have owned him, and he now does what the Ukrainians want. Now, Dagestan is a complex republic. It is Muslim. It is in the northern Caucasus. It has been a place where jihadi fighters have attempted to entrench themselves. Remember that, throughout the 1990s and the early 2000s, the Russians had to face a very bitter and very prolonged war, firstly against Chechen separatists, and then that morphed into a struggle against jihadi insurgents in the Caucasus. Now, the thing to say is that Dagestan is a Muslim republic. There are people there are very religious, as they are right across the Caucasus, but the jihadis discovered that they were not wanted in Dagestan, and when they tried to send their people into Dagestan in 1999, what they discovered to their surprise was that the local people actually took up arms and fought them, and showed that they were still supportive of, wanted to remain part of Russia. So it's a complex place, but there has been a long-standing belief in the West, in the jihadi world, if you like, that Dagestan is a weak spot for Russia, that you can create problems and a crisis there. And for the Russian government, obviously, they do not want a resumption of a jihadi insurgency in the northern Caucasus, especially whilst they've still got this ongoing war in Ukraine. And of course, they've also got to worry about the feelings in Chechnya. We now have 3 regiments of Chechen troops fighting in the Ukraine war. The Chechens have rallied to the cause, and they're determined fighters, and they're playing a critical role in the battles in Ukraine. But of course, they're devout Muslims again, and you don't want to have situations in the Caucasus where it looks as if the Russian authorities are coming down hard on Muslim feeling in the Caucasus, and that might make some of those Chechen fighters doubt that they're fighting on the right side. So you can see that the Russians are very concerned about Muslim feeling in the Caucasus and about the stability of places like Dagestan. And from the other side, and this is the Ukrainian thinking here, you can get Muslim mobs raiding airports, threatening Jewish people. Well, of course, from the Russian point of view, this is a disaster. The optics of this are disastrous. It makes people around the world, including in Russia, Jewish people, worry about their safety in Russia. So this is a very difficult situation for the Russians, one that they're very angry about, and one which I have to say again, because of their complete uninterest in the propaganda side of things, they let it happen. I mean, this Telegram channel has existed. They haven't taken proper steps to counter it. They've not really worked with the local people in Dagestan to try to respond to it. They've not exposed it for what it is. And we saw that the story was put about that this plane was flying in from Tel Aviv, that Jewish refugees were going to be settled, presumably in Dagestan. The story was whipped up. Who knows what other agents were operating in Dagestan, and by some reports, around 500 people were persuaded to go to the airport and storm the airport, threaten the plane and threaten passengers on the plane, and would try to check passports and do all of those things. Anyway, it was brought under control very fast.
Well, how's that for InfoWars? How's that for wars and rumors of war? How is that for asymmetrical warfare, right? where the war of public opinion matters. Okay, so controlling of the narrative, you know, is still very important in modern warfare. Very interesting that we learn of what we learn. You can learn a lot by a little conversation like that about how the war is fought and, you know, how certain constraints, oh, we don't want to make them mad, right? Because, hey, the World War just turned into the Muslim war, did it not? So, and Vlad is going to be fighting with those Arabs, with those Muslims, with those Elamites, those Persians, if you will. So, at some level, there's going to be some getting along, right? And to know these things, right? There, you should know a little bit of everything, yeah? Don't believe everything that you hear, girly. Some little Gilligan type shit. Okay, so this is Sirach 5 and 15, yeah? Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. And we're going to end it right there. We hope that that kind of brings a little focus to what may be going on the battlefield and what may not, right? Wars and rumors of war. We have to wait and see. So with that, we hope that the elector edified you brothers and few sisters. With that, we're going to say shalom.